Alright, so today we're going to be watching Generation Kill Funny Moments. As always, I'm going to be leaving the link to the original video and channel down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure that you check them out. And just a quick little intro, just so you know a little bit about me. I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps, deployed twice over in the Middle East, specifically Kuwait for my first deployment. It really didn't do a whole lot. And the second one, going back to Kuwait, but also got to spend around 3 months in Syria, and even got to do a little mission over there. Nothing too exciting, but a lot of funny shit happened. So, I want to see Generation Kill, since it's following Marines, kind of what experiences may be similar. I know seeing like the little mini clips that I have seen here and there about Generation Kill is that these guys are going to be like more actively engaged in combat a lot more. And personally, I never say that I do. I have no combat experience, but you know, there could be experiences that might be somewhat similar, like when they're just shooting the shit or something. And let's go ahead and get right in it.
Bring your kids.
Where the fuck you find those?
I just suck an officer's cock to get these.
See? That's some exploitive shit.
Okay, wait, hold on. I forgot to turn up the volume a bit. But just that line right there, I had to suck an officer's dick to get it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I've said it in videos in the past, if you're a Marine, or hell, I'm pretty sure that our Army guys do it too, that the Marine Corps has the straightest gay people you have ever met. There's so many gay jokes and so many actions that would be very questionable, you know, and it kind of just makes funny. And it's something like that just gets told in passing, right? It's, I mean, sometimes it's just a joke, or sometimes it's just, I don't know, it's just a part of your speech.
You've been exploited by your betters. You know what we need in America, man? It's a holiday where once a year, the blue-collar man gets to go into the home of the white-collar man, eat his food, sleep in his bed, and fuck his shit up.
Corporal Person, be advised.
Purge.
You're expected to conduct all business in this camp in compliance with the grooming standard, under direct order from the battalion commander himself.
Sergeant Patrick.
All right, so real quick, just like those little moments like that, when I was in Syria, right, and I was in Shadadi, we had some guys that were in a different compound, right? But we had another one. I forgot what it was. I think it was called like Green something. In any case, they were over there, and it was a little more shittier than when we were at. And these guys ended up not running out of water, but they were getting very close. So they had to ration quite a bit, right? So they couldn't. So they decided, hey, we're just not going to shave, right? You know, why waste the water shaving? And then, I don't know who it was that went out there, got pissed off at everybody, and had them all dry shave, right? And it's like, why? Like, why? it makes no sense. Like, higher chain of command at certain times are just going to be so bored that they feel like, hey, they got to say something. And a second little example right here is that we actually had a guy who was in a sniper platoon. I think he was still in the state platoon. Like, he hadn't gone to the actual school yet, I think. I'm not 100% sure. This guy was trying to go out on one of our patrols, and the reason he got denied was because there was a master sergeant there and said, hey, you don't even shave. How am I supposed to trust you out there? You know what? I saw it from like the master sergeant's side to try to see what his meaning behind it was. And I was like, okay, I guess I see what you're trying to say, is that if you can't do like a simple thing that you're supposed to do every day, right? Technically in the Marine Corps, you don't do it. I guess I could see the reasoning, but I think the reasoning is shit. Holds very little to no value, right? Considering that him having some slight stubble, it's not going to affect him and how effective he can be, right? In my opinion, obviously, people can disagree with me. Let me know down in the comments if you ever had someone just call you over some BS grooming SHIT. Also, I think the master sergeant was completely wrong.
Your mustache hairs is in violations. Growing beyond the corner of your mouth. I hear Godfather himself say, you look like a bum. Police at least there!
I'm fucking asshole, man. See, like little stuff like that, man. Like, who are they trying to impress? I know the Marine Corps wants to keep a certain image, and I understand that this is a film, right? And it's supposed to be a story. Although I believe it was a true story from a reporter who was actually embedded with the United States Marine Corps, you know, taking photographs and whatever. And this is kind of, I think this is based off a book. I'd be so stupid if I didn't know, but little things like that actually happens.
Y'all starting to look like Elvises!
I forgot to say, if they catch one little thing that is technically out of regulations, you're considered a piece of shit. Doesn't matter what you've done before, you're horrible.
Don't push our load.
Mr. Potato Head at your 6. Closing fast.
Sergeant Patrick! On the deck!
You mocking me? Hairs hanging from your face, beyond your mouth areas. You are unsightly, unsanitary, and in violations of Godfather's grooming standards.
You reach me? Sergeant Patrick!
You has the old dark hunter down, fuck yourself.
You know, the thing that the guy did in the background, very funny. But if somebody else catches you that doesn't like you, or is like friends with him, he's probably gonna call you out right on the spot and then get you fucked. It was funny though. But yeah, they tell you to unfuck yourself. Technically, it might be out of regs, but I don't really see anything out of regs, really, from what I can see.
Godfather tells us 2 weeks ago the division's having a mustache growing contest. Now Mr. Potato Head over here is laughing out Pappy.
Well, we all got jobs to do. Sergeant Major Sixth's job is to be an asshole. And he excels at the position.
Also don't know what it was with mustaches. We all kind of wanted to grow one when we were no longer considered like a knee joint or a boot. Personally, I did too, right? I mean, it was one less thing to shave, and mine always grew out pretty quick. I think it's because most people are coming out of high school, right? And then that's usually when you start growing your facial hair. But then again, if you go right into the Marine Corps like the majority did, then you never really get the chance to see how it comes out. So I'm assuming that's why a lot of people tend to grow out the mustache.
It's the usual French talk of stall and surrender.
Gas, gas, gas!
That's the hand and arm signal for gas, gas, gas.
Go, go, go! Get to the vehicle! Go, go, go! Shady P3, let's move! Go, go, go! Let's do it, let's do it, let's get to it! Let's do it! Come on, Will, put a move on it! This is it, we gotta do! Get to the vehicle, P2! P2, get to the vehicle!
I'm gonna tell you right now, to get into full mop gear, man, that shit is tricky. That's why, I mean, when you get taught the class initially, like doctrinally, you have a buddy helping you. But obviously, even in training, when we put them on and by ourselves. And we would use Gore-Tex in training just to like not have the actual suit. But obviously, we did get it when we actually went on deployment. But you can see like the boots that you have to put on, very tricky if you don't get it in just right. And the whole little strap that was between his where his crotch was, that one's always very tricky too because you're afraid of nipping your balls. But you also see though, as far as like this being a drill and just like what was it? I think it was react. Like if someone says react, you got to get in full kit and get ready, right? That's also another drill. I'm pretty sure this is just a drill, or if it's not. But if it is, I'd be pissed because I'd get pissed about any type of drill, even though I know the importance of it. Also, very hard to breathe.
What do you got, Sergeant? Can you help me with the...
All clear.
The part about saying on clearing, right, and now they're going to take out their mask, is that at least now, I don't know about back then, we had these little patches or something, I forgot what they were, but it was like to test the air, right, and it had to turn a certain color, and there was like all the steps written on it so you can see that the air is breathable, and then once you check in, it's good. One person takes it off. I mean, you might, if you're a senior, you might choose one of your junior guys to do it. But if he's good, then we all just start taking it off, right? But unless someone says it's all clear, you're going to keep it on, even if someone is literally telling you to take it off. If you don't get the all clear and know that it was tested, you're going to keep it on.
I just performed testicle surgery on the reporter.
I forgot to spit out my tobacco, so I had to swallow it. And this suit...
Okay, to be fair, my recruiter was the first one that introduced me to dipping. I swallowed a little bit because, I thought he called it chew, so I was like, oh, chew. So I'm gonna chew it, right? Bad mistake. I swallowed quite a bit and ended up throwing up a little bit, but not too much. But ever since that day, I liked the little buzz that it gave me, and then that's how I've been dipping.
Is too small. That strap was crushing my nuts.
Reporter, you are possibly the biggest fuck-up I have encountered.
Yeah, well, maybe he fits right in.
Yeah.
What's up with the escort?
We got word a couple hours ago. We're not getting escort tanks or Cobras going over the border.
Any reason you waited till now to tell me about this?
Bro, that does happen. Like, literally, people telling you at the very last moment. For example, we had a junior guy. We were doing our PCCs and PCIs. We were about to run a range. And then, you're taking your guys through, hey, do you have your iPro on? Let me see them. Do you have water? Let me feel it. Do you have a rifle? Do you have everything on you? Do you have AirPro? Oh, I'm sorry, Lance Corporal, I don't have my AirPro. Why the fuck don't you have it? You know what we're doing, right? PCCs and PCIs and checking all your shit. And then they're doing it at the last minute. And it's like, okay, so you all told me you were ready to get inspected. And obviously, this guy wasn't. And you did you guys ever check each other, right? But, I mean, I understand it can happen, but best not to leave things to the last minute.
Dude, what do you think they're saying?
Excuse me, Mish. Tell the man that we come in friendship.
Mish is, dude, my big American friends are going to fuck you up if you don't show us some blown up tanks. And the Haji's all,
And Mish is all, dude, these Iraqis love the fact that we're here. They fucking love freedom and they thought that those fireballs last night were fucking wicked, dude. You Americans have killed a lot of sand. The sand was very evil.
Lieutenant's all, Mish, I just shit my panties. Tell the nice man if he doesn't show me at least one blown up tank, I'll look very stupid in the other.
All right, before anyone says anything or comments anything, just know in any military branch, with my own experience in the Marine Corps as well, very dark about their humor. So don't take any of this to heart. It's just how they pass the time.
Your officers will laugh at me.
And Mish is all, dude, throw me a freaking bone here. How about a freaking pickup truck with bolt tires?
Bro, and the Haji's all, hub dubba, dubbity dubba. And Mish is, Lieutenant, this Haji dude is totally bummed he can't save your career. He's got no tanks. But check it out. You can have his bitchin' daughter.
And the lieutenant's all weepy and shit. Fucking frat house pussy.
Back to camp. I'll ride with Team 2.
Hey,
What'd the old man say?
he's afraid we're going to bomb his village tonight. LT turned it down. Anybody hungry?
Mount up.
Stand by for short count.
Signal.
Good dump, Sergeant?
Excellent. Shit my brains out. Not too hard, not too runny.
Sucks when it's runny and you have to wipe 50 times.
That's not what I'm talking about. If it's too hard or too soft, something's not right. You might have a problem that affects combat readiness.
And it should be a little bit acid, Trombley. Burn your asshole a little when it comes out.
Maybe on your little bitch asshole, Ray. From all the cock that's been stuffed up it.
Man, we Marines are so homoerotic. It's all we talk about.
I called it. I called it, didn't I? Dude. I'm not going to go too deep into detail. But there's a lot of guys who, in my own experience as well, are very questionable, right? I mean, these guys had wives too. And obviously, they're just being funny, doing these kind of things, but some of them are very questionable. But yeah, I mean, Marine Corps, some of the straightest gay people you've ever met. I know how that sounds, and it sounds weird, but if you've been in, trust me.
You ever realize how homoerotic this whole thing is?
Corporal, just throw this next to my seat. Gotta be prepared. Never know when you might need an AK.
That's why you're in charge, sir. I'm American, man.
Yeah, I got it.
I think I believe the judge when he told me the Marine Corps was a superior alternative to jail. I should have shut up and done my time.
I don't want none of you ladies moping and crying. Mustache has got to go now. Hey!
God, this guy is giving me an aneurysm. The way he speaks, right? I mean, I understand his character plays perfectly because it's actually getting me to feel actual frustration with just his voice.
Hey, turn.
Scrape that hippie shit off your lip. You mocking the grooming standard, Stafford?
Nah, Sergeant Major. It's Scrooby.
I want to see clean, purty smile before we step off.
Hey, reporter.
What?
If you lay with your cock against the ground as the tank goes by, it feels fucking great. Come on, do it!
What's that old saying? A Marine will fuck anything with a heartbeat?
They could be coming from all sides.
Also, don't lay next to a tank. Unless someone's maybe... No, you know what? Not even then. Because they can't... It's from what I understood, it's really hard for them to see you, especially if you're really close, especially if you're on the ground laying down. And the only way to really to communicate with them is either by radio, comms. I think there's also a radio in the back to be able to talk to the driver. But don't ever lay down next to a tank.
They could be coming from all sides.
Is our platoon commander okay?
We'll be all right if I turn my 50 towards 6 and let off a few rounds.
You guys got that?
It's fucking ours.
No, it's not. It's an AK.
Yeah? And it belongs to our fucking platoon commander.
Hitman 3, this is 3-2 interrogative. What are you engaging?
Sir, why'd you shoot the car?
Denying the enemy transportation. This is Hitman 3. How much longer are we gonna be halted here waiting to die in fucking Ambush Alley? My men really need to know. Out. Republican Guard insignia! Special Saddam Division!
Bravo 3's commander. Should I shoot him?
Don't waste your bullet.
Sir, the main weapon on your point vehicle is unreliable. Given the prevailing climatic conditions, using this lubricant is like trying to butt-fuck a virgin underage Phuket whore with chalk. And KY is clearly called for, sir.
You'll have to deal with it, Sergeant. We have 4 more towns to assault through today.
Prime example of figure it the fuck out.
Want logistics? Join the Army. Marines make do.
I'm gonna call this one in right now.
Sir, that's a Con Arrow with 200 meters.
Man, I just realized this is the lead vehicle, right? I mean, I understand that they want to keep the gun with the vehicle, but why not just switch the guns from the first and second vehicle? Right? I mean, that's just kind of what I'm thinking.
Sir, that's danger close for artillery.
Danger close.
Sir, danger close is an artillery strike within 600 meters of a friendly position.
That would be us.
200 meters, it's pretty much on top of our heads.
Dumb motherfucker, sir. Even the most boot-fucked Marine knows danger close.
You're way out of line.
Skipper! What the fuck?
That is true. You hear danger close, and obviously, I feel like even if you didn't know, right? Danger and close. I don't think. I mean, anybody could really know what that means.
What the fuck is going on here? You weren't on your comms.
Eric, what can I do for you?
Sir, it's about the enemy AKs you've been firing from your vehicle. You're endangering us. You're not calling your targets. The AKs sound like enemy fire.
Jesus Christ, Eric.
Please, sir. You fire an AK one more time, I'll fuck you up.
Gentlemen, everything's...
First of all, this guy looks like the dude from Jeepers Creepers 2. That does happen, right? I don't remember exactly what the rank... I mean, he called him sir. I don't remember what the other guy's rank was, but I'm going to assume he was somebody of a lower rank or equal rank, but it doesn't really matter. From our own story, I believe I've said it before, time in Buring... No. Yeah, it was in Buring where some little sergeant dude was trying to talk big to a Lance Corporal who was really huge, and then that sergeant didn't get his shit right. I mean, he should have, but this Lance Corporal who was really strong just kind of pinned him up against the wall, and apparently somebody else was in there, and then they heard the sergeant kind of like squealing like, how? It's like, why were you talking shit, right? So your rank a lot of times is not going to, especially if it's in a situation like this, I can completely understand it more like this, right? If you're actually putting other people's lives in danger, because you hear AK, you're assuming that it's the enemy, right? He's not calling out his targets, and then he continues to try to do it. And then someone said, hey, if you do it again, I'm going to fuck you up. So that kind of situation, it definitely happened.
Squared away? Yes, sir. Captain was helping us unfuck our comms.
Roger, stand by.
Thank you, sir.
Yo, come on, baby, I got $15. Just give me one ass kick.
That is one liberated bitch.
I'm gonna hit that shit.
You used to wearing your desert goggles. That ain't nothing but a piece of nappy-haired whiskey tang.
You're right, man. You ain't hitting shit. WM like that? Nah, she be wearing Kevlar panties nailed on top of a concertina wire bush.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do a recon pool. I'm gonna make a path for all you motherfuckers.
Shit, man. You imagine the stank on that cunt?
Looking at like a lot of these guys, especially back then, have been in country for like what, months at a time already. Probably, at least from what I remember, I don't think Marines couldn't really have sex with anybody. Or sometimes you might just be in a situation when there's no females around, right? Which is also why there's like a lot of talk. At least one of the reasons why I've heard it, and I can see it being a pretty legit reason as far as letting females into the infantry. Imagine this type of scenario, but this is a show. But imagine that happening in real life, right? You got a bunch of guys who, even if they're married and all that, but they haven't been able to be with the woman or, you know, whoever. And then there's one female. And in my personal opinion, I feel like that could be a little bit dangerous towards the female Marine, right? But that's as far as I'm going to go on that topic.
That is exactly where I'm going. Yes, sir. I'm gonna go down on her. Like she got all of Saddam's WMDs just buried right between her legs.
Yeah. You better dig deep. Oh, yeah, baby. Get in there, Jack. Come on. Get a little tap.
Stop that bat over here. Don't kill yourself like that.
Shit. Go get it, baby. Get some for old JC.
Get some.
Oh, shit. Heads up.
Shit. Smash.
There's that devil dog. You're squealing like a bunchy butt-fuck basher beaches. Unfuck yourself. We gonna suffer the spectacle of a WM with a bunch of horny devil dogs trailing their stern. Get yourself squared up here. Come. You're inappropriating your chemical filtration device by attempting fornication with. Jesus, I have to tell you not to desecrate your mask with perversions! Why the fuck are your helmets?
Another example right there, right? You see how much bigger that other guy actually is, right? Compared to that Sergeant Major? Only thing protecting that Sergeant Major is kind of the rules and repercussion what would happen if that dude tried to put hands on him, right? But if he did, I'm pretty sure you can kind of know who would win that altercation.
A week ago, they didn't know we could see their thermals at night. Now they're adapting.
Didn't work for that guy.
No! Cease fire! Cease fucking fire, Sergeant! Now, Sergeant! Cease fire, you motherfucker! Cease fire!
told me to engage all movement.
Do it! You dumb motherfucker!
Okay, first of all, obviously, sometimes blue on blue is going to happen, right? And I've heard lots of stories of that happening specifically in more, urban areas, right? Like Mount, just because there's not a whole lot you can see, and for the most part, you never know someone's going to be around the corner, so you're probably a little more jittery as far as going through, right? And this guy says, ceasefire, ceasefire. So obviously, this is an accident. Obviously, you do want to identify what you're seeing, and it's also kind of one of the rules now. I mean, obviously, if you heard it, that you have to see someone, they have to engage you first, and then once they start doing that, then you can start firing back. But if they, I was told, I don't know how true this is, but that if they turn a corner and you lose sight of them, but then you see sight again, now you have to reestablish not only that line of sight, and I think that they had to shoot at you again first before you could engage again. I think that's how the rule was. We got told about. Obviously, I never had to go through a type of situation like that. But also when he says, "Hey, I was told that to engage any movement." Okay, but you also have to use individual action, I think it was called, right? You also have to be able to think for yourself. If you see some movement and you don't know who it is, and you immediately start shooting, like, I can understand the situation, right? You're probably tense, you got a lot of people that are hiding amongst the populace that are trying to actively kill you, and then they're just chilling and blending in, right? So you never know where it's going to come from. I could definitely understand that.
Do you realize you're shooting at Marines?
I saw an Iraqi helmet. I got this, Corporal. Fuck.
2 actual, this is 2-1. Who the fuck is shooting at us?
Fucking LAPD cops from Delta. They fucking love shooting Mexicans.
It was Alpha, Gabe. Alpha. Mistakes happen.
2-1 actual, what's your status?
Everyone likes to shoot Mexicans. Even Mexicans.
Well, first of all, if I was the one that got shot at, I'd be fucking pissed. Figure out who did it and go from there.
Get down! Get down! Sniper, he's in front of us.
How can you tell?
You can only hear that clearly when he's directly in front of the rifle barrel. Zip, zip. Means he's passing a few meters from our ears.
One at a time. Colbert, go! Mounting!
I got no...
Okay, so I was going to say that if he's bounding, right, so you're going to want somebody providing some cover. But the fact that he's not seeing any muzzle flashes as he does right now, not really a point to start shooting. I mean, he could just shoot in maybe a general direction of where he thinks it's coming from, but he's having to take a big guess, right? And then obviously that's going to end up exposing him as well. But yeah, this is the one scene I mentioned in a video a little while back as far as like going from point A to point B the fastest direct way possible, because obviously in real life it's going to be a lot harder depending on what type of sniper he's using, whether or not he's actually a good shot, the recoil of it, and little things that really start adding up, unlike in a video game where you can actually serpentine because the person's probably going to have a lot better aim, right, like mouse and keyboard. But in this type of scenario, they're trying to find him, but obviously they can't, and they're trying to get one person to go at a time. If you have a lot of people going at one time, then it's going to be, I forgot what the term for it was. If you know the term, let me know down below. This also allows for people to not just kind of bunch up when they do start running, and then the guy no longer has to be as accurate as if when he was shooting one person.
No muzzle flashes.
Rudy, go!
Set!
Level, go! Bounding!
Set!
All right, Poke, go.
Bounding! Set!
Reporter, you ready?
Yes!
Go!
What the fuck?
Set, sir!
Like, I can understand the reasoning behind it. Make yourself a harder target, but the more you're consistently out in the open, which obviously it takes a lot longer if you're serpentining, right? It leaves you more of a chance of getting shot. So essentially, just go as fast as you can.
All officer. Reporter, what the fuck was that?
Serpentine shell, serpentine. You know, the movie, The In-Laws.
Peter Falk tells Alan Arkin, always run in a serpentine fashion. I was running evasively.
Next time we come under fire, run in a straight line. You'll live longer.
Have a full, happy life of betraying us and others with your Vina lies.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the for a minute. Now, loved it. Loved the humor in it. It does tend to get dark about it a few times. I did call out the homoerotic part, although I didn't use that word. But this Sergeant Major guy, holy shit, man. Granted, I never had a Sergeant Major that was that much big of a dick. He was kind of a dick in some aspects, right? Like he wanted us to, like, we were in Syria and he went there for a couple days and wanted to make sure that everyone had their shirts tucked in. Wanted to make sure that everybody was doing the whole, I mean, obviously we're all shaving still because obviously we had water where we were at and we didn't really have an issue with that. But he was very picky about walking around. He didn't want people with our rifles slung on our back. He didn't want us just walking willy-nilly, I guess. There was a lot of little things that we had to, like, we essentially had to put up a dog and pony show, right? And just show that, hey, we're doing everything, you know, perfect and everything, right? Which obviously we know, for the most part, you're going to do things the way that works best for you. I did like the part about the mustaches, just like in general, everything, just because mustache, I don't know what it is. I still think it's part of the coming out of high school, right? And you never really grew facial hair. So that when you actually have the chance to, when you're a little older, but now you're getting told that, hey, you can't, or it has to be in a certain regulation, so everybody starts growing one out. Some people can grow really nice ones. I grow out a decent one, right? Not so much on the beard. It's a little more sparse, and I am missing my little connection here. But mustaches are a big thing in the military. I would assume that's across all branches. Obviously, you see the reporter here, kind of struggling getting in his mop gear. Hell, it's a little tricky at first. But I would say, though, that the hardest part, I mean, I just realized he doesn't have the gloves, but the hardest part was probably always the boots for me, just because they would never go on correctly, and it didn't matter, and you needed to have the right sizes as well. I don't know about too many personally, like, reporters or whatnot, like him, or too many guys that were, like, combat camera and all that. I wonder if they, especially if they're hanging out with a lot of this infantry guys over out there in country, I wonder if they ever start developing just that same kind of humor, the same being cynical, or like being being like more of that morbid humor. I would assume it would rub off on them eventually, right? And then they kind of started adopting quote unquote lingo or slang. And then he actually listens to this guy and puts his thing up against the ground so that when you feel the vibration, which by the way, again, do not sleep or lay down by a tank because they're not going to be able to hear you. They're not going to be able to see you for the most part. So very risky. I feel like this scene right here was also really great just to see, just because there's a lot of times where even if you outrank somebody, that rank is only going to protect you so far, right? Especially if you really test someone's patience, right? And they're trying to do everything like how he's trying to really just come to him to like, hey, in a cool, respectable manner, very privately, so no one's going to see it, and this would just be kind of between them. Which how things, you know, in my opinion, should happen, because then I feel like that way people will be willing more to listen. If you call someone out in front of a group, obviously they're not, for the most part, they're not just going to stand there and take it. They're going to fire right back at you. If you're being aggressive in the way you're talking, they're going to be aggressive right back. And if you get stunned or like you can't believe that this person's talking to you that way, it's like, well, then don't talk to them that way to begin with, right? Just talking things out like this on a one-on-one scenario, definitely a lot better. I only ever had one squad leader really do this, and he did it with me. And I listened a lot more. And quite frankly, when I looked at it in hindsight, he was pretty right in what he was trying to counsel me on. So if he had done that in front of a group of people, I would have probably been a little more hesitant. But especially if he just started like calling me out in front of everybody, right? Then obviously it would be a lot more aggressive back. But the fact that he did it one-on-one, things were handled a lot better, a lot smoother. I think this was probably the darkest part right here. Marines are going to be Marines, man. And sometimes it's dark. That's kind of how things are. I will say though, in this last little scene, the part about him doing the serpentine, he didn't get shot, but definitely minimizing your exposure time as much as possible. And obviously they weren't really ever able to actually figure out where the sniper was actually coming from. They had maybe a general idea, but no specific location. And if you try to peek, because obviously when someone starts running, snipers don't want to engage them. As soon as they shoot, they didn't see the actual muzzle flash, so they couldn't really identify them. But you are, every time you pop, you're having yourself exposed. But yeah, then again, this distance is not that far, so just running straight in probably be the safest best bet, because that sniper has to not only guess when you're going, but also has to be able to hit you obviously accurately. So moving target from wherever, how far he is. That's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me a lot. Hit that notification button so you get notified every time I do upload. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it, and leave me a little comment to me what it was. Maybe click out this video right here, and if you want to see some more of me. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video.